What's up, dude? It's Joshy J. Let's talk about the essence. So, the essence of something that is important to you, and I'm going to illustrate this by doing a few texture studies and material studies in the background. So, you're seeing a bunch of skulls, material studies, so trying to map a certain type of material onto another object to try and communicate that object as clearly as I can. And you'll see later in the texture studies how I'm trying to illustrate or paint the essence of an object to try and communicate it as clear as possible. So when you're doing material studies, the essence is super important, and at no point, especially with the texture studies, at no point will you see me zoom in so far that I'm working on minuscule details. I'm rather trying to focus on the bigger picture, the higher impact of the image. So especially with the skulls as well, with the material studies, I used a lot of photos to try and understand and articulate the image really well, and I applied a lot of tips and tricks to try and make the form pop as well as look like the material that I'm trying to render. Another great tip for trying to match a style that you're trying to work on or style that you're trying to improve is to have the style of the image that you're trying to match, and then a real life image. So say for example I'm doing wood, then you have a style of wood that you want to match plus a real life image of wood, and then you have your material study in the middle, and that way you are bouncing between these two images to try and communicate the essence of what it is that wood looks like in the style that you're trying to communicate. So that's what I did with a lot of these material studies. And if you see closer to the texture ones, I just wanted to focus on the lights and darks. I kept them all very grayscale to focus on which areas were light, which areas were dark. And if you look at the images, they're not an exact replica of the one that I'm trying to understand. It's more like an interpretation. That's what art is. It's an interpretation. The real world has so many details. There's so many minuscule things that are going on that we could never interpret into art in every single way. So in that sense, it's just an interpretation, and luckily for art, it's our interpretation. So it's the way that we understand it. And I think the essence is such an amazing topic for me, because as soon as I realized that essence was so important, I started to just cut away at so many things that were never important. To be honest, this topic is great because it helped me in my artistic career, as well as just in my focus generally in what was going on in my life. And I still keep it in my mind to this day, where I want to know what is the essence of my life and what is the essence of my being here. I want to know what are the most important things to me and why. That's the most important part. It's like the why is almost more important than the pursuit of the question is more important than the actual answer. So I thought I just wanted to kind of articulate that in this video. And as soon as I realized that things weren't in essence, I kind of just realized like there's no point in actually either continuing as soon as they fall out of the category of the essence of me, and there's no point in continuing them, and there's no point in and then it's free to just let them go, because as soon as they don't serve the essence of your being, there's no point in holding on to them. And it does take a lot of like introspection and all of this stuff to figure out what is essence in your life and what isn't, because the things that are the essence, like I'm pretty sure I know everyone on this planet has something special to offer to the world. And there's a certain topic that I was delving into, Naval also speaks about it, where it's like specific knowledge. So everyone has some place in this world. Everyone has some sort of talent, some sort of thing to give to the world, and no one else can do it better than you can do it. because no one is going to beat you at being you, and you're never going to beat me at being me. So in that sense, it's like everyone is so individual, that to figure out what the essence is of your being is to understand what it is that your specific knowledge is. So the specific part of being you is the knowledge of being you. Your specific knowledge is the knowledge of being yourself. And you're able to do this through literally every way that you interact with the world. So every single interaction, every situation is the specific knowledge of being you. And I guess the way to make money from that is to try and understand how you can give that to society to get them to pay you for it. And that way you're free to do that thing, which is your specific knowledge, every single day for the rest of your life. And that's an amazing place to be. So for me, for example, I love art so much. It's really important to me. And I love mindset as well. Those are the two things that I'm really passionate about. I'm really into, and I seem to grasp them fairly easily. So I figured my specific knowledge, like there's not only two things. Like no one only has one thing. We are multiple variant beings, but there's so much about us. And I think just figuring out these answers for ourselves will help us discover kind of what our specific knowledge is. So because mine is mindset and art, that was my whole way of kind of expressing this thing to the world. So that's why I'm doing all of these videos. That's why art is so important to me. I believe in it. And mostly like the knowledge of being you is the knowledge of understanding your essence, and then being able to give it, or understanding how to give it to the world. And it's the thing that usually comes most naturally to you. And we are indoctrinated up until a certain age, until we realize we have been indoctrinated, and then it's kind of our duty to rewrite all these programs. And to be honest, we can rewrite them to what we want, but we do have specific parts of us that are further developed than other parts, and these are the parts that we've been just exploring out of our own genuine interest for however long we've been doing it, however long we've been alive. Like when you're a kid, you're just doing stuff because you love to. I always say that, and it's true. I mean, the stuff you do when you're a kid, it's just like your genuine curiosity, and it's a special place to be able to use your curiosity to add value to the world every single day. I think that's a very special place to be, and I think it's worth exploring for everyone. And I think everyone does have an essence inside of them, and it's just about figuring out what it is, because there is people that need you the most, there is a job that needs you the most, and it's just about living out with these people, with this job, doing all these things that need you the most, because there is a place for every single human being. And I think being able to find what it is that your essence is will just free you up to let go of the things that are no longer part of your essence circle. We want the most bang for your buck you're going to get in your circle of essence, and that's the most beautiful place to live. And I think that's a freedom state, to live in that state. Awesome, dudes. I hope you enjoyed the texture studies in the background, and I think this was a valuable topic, and I hope you all got something from it. And if you like my artwork, hit a sub, and I will check you guys in the next one. Cheers.